Welcome back to CBS Sports HQ, where the wait is over after what could have been the biggest NBA trade ever. Lakers fans will get to see Luka Doncic in uniform as he suits up to make his debut as a Los Angeles Laker as they host the Utah Jazz for a 10:30 p.m. tip-off tonight. Hopefully Luka's debut goes a little bit better than Anthony Davis's did for the Dallas Mavericks, who was also a part of that trade, as you just saw the details there. So fans, media, players all have some high expectations for Doncic's debut tonight. But what should be our realistic expectations? Let's go ahead and find out as we welcome our own Brad Botkin to the show, as well as Rip Hamilton, who joins us from afar. Brad, I'll start with you. What are you hoping to see in Luka's debut tonight?
You know, this trade, the reason that it was so ridiculous for Dallas to do this is because it's all about the future. It sets up the post-LeBron era. They've been trying to do that. It does address something that Rob Pelinka has been trying to do, and again, never thought he'd be able to do it in the form of a Luka Doncic, but somebody who can take creation, playmaking, ball handling responsibilities off of LeBron, let him rest a little bit. I'm expecting them to work very well together. You know, I think we tend to overrate it. It's not to say that it's meaningless, but we tend to throw around the word fit. How are these guys going to coexist? When you are this talented, when you're talking about Luka Doncic is probably going to end up being a top 10 player ever. He's the closest thing we've seen to LeBron James. They play very similarly. The first 7 years of his career in terms of accolades and production, he's pretty much the closest thing to LeBron. They're both very smart, very good playmakers, and they're going to end up making guys like Austin Reeves' life very, very easy. Austin Reeves is never going to be getting as good a shots as he's going to get with Luka. But ultimately, big picture, I don't think, and I actually think them rescinding the Mark Williams trade has something to do with this, but they're lacking at the center position. They're not going to be big. And I don't think they're actual contenders. As big as the big two sound, I'm not expecting them to compete for a title, if you ask me my expectations. But I expect Luka to play fantastic. I expect him to be energized, maybe a little chip on the shoulder. LeBron has been playing fantastic. But my expectation for this year is not Tier 1 title contenders. It's more about that Luka sets up the next decade. Okay.
Rip, go ahead.
Yeah. And for me, I would have to say fit. I mean, that's what I'm very curious to see. You know, Luka Doncic, they're talking about playing him at the point guard position. We all know that when the Lakers, which they're having a lot of success right now, is because the ball's in LeBron James' hands. Like, he's the first, second, and the third option. And now you got a guy like Luka Doncic, who is the Dundada, who's coming into this situation and is like, hey, I'm so accustomed and used to the ball being in my hands 70–80% of the time. So I'm just curious to see how J.J. Redick plays him and LeBron, and do he offsets their minutes? Does he play Luka off the ball? And when he does play him off the ball, will we see a lot more movement in Luka Doncic? The same thing as in LeBron James. So for me, it's just the all-around fit. How do they make these pieces fit? You got two guys that are very similar in game. Both of them got a high basketball IQ. But we all know when J.J. Redick early this season tried to take the ball out of LeBron James' hands, and they played well at times, but they struggled at times. But we all know when they play well, that ball is in LeBron James' hand.
Rip, as we just heard from Brad, he doesn't expect with this new addition in Luka right now for them to go contend to a championship, more so looking at the next decade. Right now, Lakers currently 5th in the West, ahead of Luka's debut, as we expect him to play tonight. They have won 5 straight without him. So what, in your opinion, Rip, is their ceiling?
Well, I have to agree with Brad. I don't think this team can win a championship, even though you see the greatness of LeBron James and the greatness of Luka Doncic. It takes time. You can go back to when LeBron James went to the Miami Heat, and you already had a great player with Dwayne Wade there, and they added Chris Bosh. They struggled early in that season, just trying to catch a rhythm, trying to figure out. Nobody wanted to step on each other's toes. Dwayne Wade was the guy at first, and then here comes the new sheriff in town, which was the great LeBron James. Same situation here. You got two great talents, man, and it's going to take time because this is very different. People say, oh, well, Luka played with Kyrie Irving. Well, Kyrie is naturally good playing off the ball. He's good at just being your primary scorer on your ball club. Coming into this situation with LeBron James, LeBron is a pass-first type of player. So it's not the same situation where LeBron is comfortable playing off the ball, comfortable coming off pin downs or making backdoor action and things like that. He's comfortable in pick and roll. So I just think this is a situation right now when these guys are going to have to take time to really learn each other's game. Luka got to learn the system too, coming from a system in Dallas with Jason Kidd and now understanding what JJ Redick wants from him. So I do think if I had to say their ceiling, maybe first, second round, maybe. I maybe give them second round, but I do not see this team in the Western Conference Finals.
All right, let's go ahead and move on here. We know LeBron is listed as a game-time decision tonight against the Jazz. He's dealing with a little bit of ankle soreness right now. Let's go ahead, though, and visualize both of them on the court. Luka and LeBron, game tied. Put yourself in it here, Rip. Visualize it. Seconds remaining. Who are you more comfortable taking the final shot, Luka or LeBron, Brad?
Hey, big winner here, Rip, is JJ Redick, because it's like your first year as a coach. Who are you going to give the ball to at the end of the game? LeBron James or Luka Doncic? Talk about no bad options. Over the years, people like us have gotten up here, not Rip, but people like me who didn't play in the NBA, and it becomes so easy to criticize a guy like LeBron who has always made the, quote, right basketball play at the end of games. He has never forced his shot. He has accepted the attention that he draws defensively and found the open man consistently, and he has drawn criticism from talking heads about that. I think they'll continue to play that way. These guys both draw so much attention. For the first time in LeBron James' career, he is playing with somebody who probably draws more individual attention, at least at this stage in LeBron's career. So I expect in that situation that these guys are going to be out there making the right play. It may not even be passing to one another. Again, I bring back Austin Reeves. I bring back these guys that are going to be shooting shots that they have never had in their career. To have two guys like this, I can only think of, and even LeBron at 40, I can only imagine LeBron in his prime, but I can only think of like Steph Curry and Kevin Durant, where you have two 1A creators, 1A defensive responsibilities. These guys are going to get good looks, and JJ Redick has shown early in the year he's a creative play caller. I think they're going to make, sometimes you use those guys. Steve Kerr does it a lot with Steph Curry. You use those guys as decoys. They're smart. They're going to make the right play. I don't know who ends up taking the right shot. I think it's going to end up being the guy that in that situation, the guy that should take the shot, the guy the defense allows to take the shot.
Yeah, what a luxury to have.
Oh, my God.
JJ Redick. You got two top five guys right on your roster that you could pick and choose.
Yeah.
Who's going to make that last shot? So regardless who he picks, I'm not mad of. It's hard for me to go against LeBron James, knowing that he scored 25 straight points against my Pistons back in the day. So it's hard to go against him on that. But when you got Luka the Don, the one luxury that you have with both guys, regardless what play you draw up, especially in late game situations, you got two guys that you can say, hey, you know what, guys? 1-4 flat. Everybody get to the baseline and allow these two guys to operate. Yeah. We know time after time, LeBron James has made big shot after big shot. Luka Doncic has done the same, but when you got a guy like LeBron James who doesn't care if he's the guy making the shot or not, he's willing to give it to Luka and say, hey, I'll be one of them guys on a 1-4 flat. But this is a great luxury for JJ Redick.
If the matchup is right? If he sees that Luka's got the matchup, they're going to be able to play off of each other. Rip, you would have loved to be on this Lakers team running off your screens with Luka and LeBron getting all that. You would have loved that, yeah?
Hey, Brad, it would have made life very easy. I could have extended my career another 5 years.
Unbelievable. That's right, Klay Thompson plays so much like you. He's like, you done took away Luka from me. I was supposed to be running around getting all these shots. Unbelievable.
What a time that would have been. Oh, gentlemen, you're great as always. Thanks so much for joining me here at CBS Sports HQ. Well, here is a look at a couple other players making their post-deadline debuts. DeAndre Hunter will play his first game for the Cavaliers tonight when Cleveland hosts Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves. 30 minutes later, Andrew Wiggins will make his Heat debut when Miami hosts Boston, and Jimmy Butler will be playing in his second game as a Warrior when Golden State takes on the Bucks.